If you're new to my channel, my name is Ash, and today I'm bringing you a holiday gift guide for kids. My kids are 1 and 4, and all the things I'm going to show you are things that both of them use and love every single day. These are gifts that would be great for babies on through toddlers. I'll show a few things that I think are more appropriate for babies in case you have a baby on your list, and a few things that are more for an older child. But for the most part of why I selected these items from all the things we have in our home is that these are things that I think give a really good value as far as longevity. These are things that your child could have and love for years. So if you're shopping for your own or for someone else's, this should give you some really good ideas. And these are things that are available on Amazon that you could just prime to yourself or someone else really quickly. So it's not too late to get these this year for Christmas gifts if that's what you're looking for. So anyway, let me get started and show you what we have. So I thought that I would start with probably the most babyish, or rather baby appropriate, of the items I'm going to show you right now. This is a muslin quilt from Little Unicorn. This is one of our very, very favorite things. This is something that is not something I had with my older son, but with my daughter Emerald, who's 1 right now. We have this. She's almost 18 months and we've been loving it her whole life, and I don't see that changing anytime soon because it's been really useful in different ways at different stages. It's great for a small baby. You can lay it out on the ground for them to play on. It's kind of thick. It's very soft. So it's heavy enough that you can lay it down on the ground and it stays there for a little baby to play or roll around on. It's also great for snuggling, which is mostly what we do with it. And I just love it. I think it's going to really last for a long time. It's really well made. It washes really well, and it would make a great gift if you know somebody that has a new baby or a young baby that you're looking for something for, because it's very useful and very pleasing to the parent. It comes in a lot of different prints, but this is just the one that we have and I really love it. It's called Summer Poppy, but I also think it works great for the winter because it's got that, you know, red and green, so it's kind of Christmassy but also summery, so it's not something I am compelled to pack away when it's not the right season for the print, which, not that I would necessarily do that, but I definitely have some things that are great during one season and then in another season they always kind of look a little off to me, and this is not like that. This is great all year round. But anyway, that's a total aside about which print you choose. There's a lot of different prints. I also think as she grows, this is going to be great. My 4-year-old likes to play with this to make forts for his stuffed animals and things like that. And it would also make a great blanket for if you have a young toddler that's sleeping in a bed on their own. Like, not, you know, obviously someone that's too young to sleep with a blanket, but I'm thinking, you know, a 2-year-old or something might sleep with this in their bed, and that could work really nicely. So anyway, here's this side, and it has this just kind of gray backing. And as you'll see from the items I have collected here, this is kind of my color scheme. So next, let me show you some stuffed animals, or plushies, or soft friends as we call them in my home. I think plushie is kind of the word for these lately that I've been hearing the most, but we just call them soft friends. I'm not sure how that got started. Anyway, we have so many of these. I know a lot of people hate stuffed animals, but I actually love them, and I've passed that obsession on to my children. And our very favorite brand are these Jelly Cats. They're just, this one is very, very loved. This is one of my son's very favorites, and so you can see, you know, it's very loved. But they do start out looking, you know, a little less loved, as you might say. But they're just so soft, and they're the perfect size for a baby or a young toddler to hold. They're not too big that it's overwhelming. I feel like we have a few dolls and stuffed animals that my kids really like, but they're so large that I don't think they get played with as much. These are the perfect size to really be not only hugged and snuggled, but also played with for really imaginative play. And my 4-year-old actually plays with these all the time, you know, with doing creative, kind of making his own stories, acting things out. So these are his friends in the day, and then they do go to bed with him at night. So they're just, you know, all around great investments. They're a little more expensive than some of the lower quality stuffed animals, but I think they're worth it. I mean, I'm a person who, I guess I'm a stuffed animal snob in the sense that I love stuffed animals, but like I detest poorly made ones. And these are so well made, and they're also suitable from birth because they have just the, whatever you call that when the eyes are like really fixed into the fabric, so nothing like that's gonna come off. Obviously they're not for a baby to sleep with, but they are suitable for a baby to play with, and my 1-year-old has really started to carry hers around and get really into them lately, so I think that's gonna be, you know, something she's into for a long time to come as well. Oh, and there's another one that snuck in here. This is probably our very favorite one. It's a monkey, which is just my son's favorite animal, so his name is Monk, just as a little aside. Now, what I had these resting in was this Melissa and Doug shopping cart, which I'm just gonna wheel around and lift up for you. This thing gets so much use, so much play in our home. I think that my kids really love it because it looks so much like a realistic shopping cart, and they use it not so much for playing store, although I imagine one day they could, but mostly just for wheeling their toys around. Sometimes they kind of wheel their toys around like you might, you can put a doll or a stuffed animal in there and use it the same way that you would do with like a toy doll stroller. Also just food from their play kitchen, they like to stuff in there and wheel around. Other toys, whatever, it's just, it sees a lot of use, and I think they love how realistic it looks. So this is a really great piece that I'm so glad we have. The next thing I'm going to show you is this Little People barn. Now, I'm just showing this barn, but the actual item that I want to talk about is all of the Little People toys. We have a ton of them, and they all get so much use. They're played with every day in our home. This barn itself may actually be discontinued. I believe there's a newer version that looks slightly different, but I'm sure is equally fun. I don't love having the most plastic in our home, but this is one plastic toy that just gets so much use and so much love that I think it's really worth having. And I also really like that I think it's pretty well made and durable, in the sense that we've been playing with this for 3 years now and it still looks great. And I expect, you know, my grandchildren might be coming to visit me and playing with this one day. So anyway, all the Little People toys, huge fans of those. The next thing I was gonna show you are the Legos. My kids are not quite at the point yet where they're using the small Legos, as my son calls them, so we're all about the Duplos. And here, for example, we have a little reindeer and a little whale. The animals that come with the Duplo sets are super popular with my kids, but they also really like to build with them, and I think that's one of the great things about Duplos, is that kids with different interests can find something that they like there. Kids who just like kind of playing with the animal or the people figurines are gonna find a lot of that, and sorry about the banging, my kids are playing in the background there. So if you have a kid that just likes the animals, there's so many different little animals for them to play with and enact little stories, but there's also the building aspect, obviously, of constructing towers and doing that sort of thing. Both of my kids play with these every day as well. So both my 1-year-old, I was actually surprised at how early she started playing with these, because of course we have them around for my son, and my 4-year-old still plays with them all the time. So I know some people complain that Legos are a little bit expensive, and there are some other kind of, I would call them imposter, you know, cheaper variations of kind of the Lego-like building blocks. But honestly, I would just go for the Lego brand. They're so, so good and so well loved that they're really worth it. And these also do obviously hold up incredibly well. This is another toy that I see no reason why my grandchildren wouldn't be visiting me one day and playing with these, because people just, you know, they don't really break or break down. I mean, and that's, you know, maybe an unfortunate aside, but we don't need them to break down since we're just gonna be loving them forever. And next, I wanted to show you a book. I think any book makes a great gift, maybe even more so for a baby or a small child than for an adult, because, you know, I don't know about you, but as an adult I have less time than I would like for reading. I love to read, but, you know, between being a mom and trying to keep up with my home and all the other, you know, all that mom life, there's not as much time for reading as I would like. My kids, on the other hand, if they love a book, they'll read it, you know, 20 times in a day. So this book that I was gonna show you today is from the Baby Lit series, and it's a Christmas book because, you know, Christmas time, obviously the best time to gift Christmas books, either before Christmas or at Christmas. I love having holiday themed books for my kids, so I love when people give them to us so that then not only can they enjoy them kind of at the time when they get the book, but I can also pack them away and bring them out the next year. This is a book that I actually gave Emerald last Christmas when she was very, very young, maybe a little too young to appreciate it, and I packed it away and brought it out this year, and she's absolutely been loving it now. My husband was honestly skeptical of these Baby Lit books when I first told him about them because he thought, you know, that's really for the parent, you know, the aesthetics are for the parent and the kids aren't gonna like this. But my kids absolutely love this. I think really what they're responding to are just these really nice, bold, saturated colors. But this is again something that both my 4-year-old and my 1-year-old are just loving and using every day. So this would make a great gift. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, my kids are saying hi to me, but I have just a little more filming to do, guys, and then I'll bring you over to do a special demonstration where you can show them how fun all the toys are. Can you just go color for just a little bit? And then I'll bring you back over soon, okay? So, the next thing that I want to show you are wooden trains. We have both the Brio brand, which are really great, high quality trains, and the Thomas wooden railway ones. And honestly, the Thomas ones are our favorites. And the reason being, I think that my kids just love that they are trains with a face. I think it kind of fulfills two needs. They like the vehicle aspect, but they also really like that it's a character. And that's why I'm showing you this one, even though honestly, I'm normally not very much into character items, as in like, you know, something from a TV show or whatever. I don't really love toys like that. But I do love these because my kids love them so much. And this is kind of an investment in the sense that these wooden trains are a little bit pricey. But they're really worth it because they've held up for years. My son's been loving them for years, and now my daughter's been loving them. And yes, they have gotten a bit banged up, but this is the very favorite train of both of them. For whatever reason, James, maybe it's just his nice bright red color. But anyway, so wooden railway, just your classic magnetic trains and the wooden tracks that go with them. Very much recommend. Next, I have just this little plastic polar bear figurine, and hopefully that's focusing. And the reason I wanted to show you this is that just highly detailed quality animal figurines have become so popular with both of my kids. They're just a really great, really solidly made item. This one, I believe, is the Terra brand by Batat. These are the ones they have at Target. We also really love the, I believe it's pronounced Schleisch. And then there's also Safari, another brand that you'll see in a lot of different places. And they don't really care brand to brand. I have noticed there's a little bit of variation. Some brands, certain animals look better than others. But really, if you just look, you know, animal by animal, they love these detailed animal figures. So much creative, fun play that comes from these. Now the next thing I'm going to show you is a little departure from the toys area. I'm going to show you some footwear. The first bit of footwear I want to show you are these moccasins. These are the Freshly Picked brand moccasins. There are other very similar moccasins available on the market, but these are the ones that we've really been using and loving. We had these moccasins with my son when he was a new walker, and then with my daughter, we got her, she actually has 2 pairs because she loves them so much and I wanted different pairs to go with different outfits. These are the blue spruce color from their Utah collection, and these are my favorites. Not only because gray is my favorite color, but also because the leather on these is a little thicker than the leather that you'll see on some other ones, and I think it really makes them more durable, and I like the way that the fringes lay with the heavier leather. But anyway, you might be thinking, you know, footwear is not very exciting for the kid. But first of all, these are for a pretty young child who might just be, the gift is maybe more for the parents than for them anyway. It's also something they need, so that's kind of makes it like a little bit, you know, get them something they need for Christmas, especially if it's something nice. Maybe these are more expensive than the shoes you would otherwise get for them. But since it is a gift, then, you know, go for both a useful but a splurge item. My daughter actually does love these. She asks me to put hers on her all the time. The other item of footwear I want to show you that we really love in my home are these just babies hunter boots. These are the first classic ones. So, oh, sorry about my dog. These are the first classic ones, so these are the very first. Oh my goodness, there's a piano playing in the background. Emerald, we're gonna show them the piano in just a moment. First, we wanna show them these boots. My son has had these boots since his foot was big enough to fit in them, and he is obsessed with them. He's on his second pair now. He outgrew them, and we got him another pair for his birthday more recently because he loves them so much. So this is another sort of need, but it could be a splurge, but the kid will actually love owning it item. Highly, highly recommend. We love these so much. Another thing I wanted to show you is this Melissa and Doug pizza party. Both of my kids have been loving this. The toppings are a little small, so I definitely have to supervise closely when my 1-year-old has this, but both of them have been totally loving using this to cook in their toy kitchen. We have a lot of different play food, but I've found that the wooden food is absolutely the best. So much fun. I have like at least a dozen pizzas made for me every day. Thing I wanted to show is this wooden activity cube. It's by Batat. Now, the version that we have is the Busy Zoo, which I believe is just an older version of the new one, which I think is called the Zany Zoo or something like that, but I assume they're basically the same thing. And I know Emerald looks like she's, you know, screaming out, but she's actually, you know, she's here by choice. She totally came over here when I got this out to show you, so it's not as if I'm forcing her to demonstrate this. She's struggling with, there's kind of a maze aspect going on over here, and she's still figuring that out. This is a great toy when they're first learning how to stand, because they like to stand and play with the bead maze atop. And then as they're a little bit older, they're having more fun with things like this sort of maze over here. Final thing we want to show you, which Emerald apparently could not even wait for me to be done filming the video, is this toy piano. This toy piano is truly, I know I've said this a million times in this video, but it's truly one of our favorite things. Both my 4-year-old and my 1-year-old play with this piano every single day. And when I originally got it, I wasn't sure how popular it would be with my son. We've had it since he was about 18 months. I wasn't sure if it would be just more something I wanted him to have or something he got a lot of use out of, and it's really exceeded my wildest dreams as far as just how much love it gets in our family. So let me just... Alright, I hope that this video gave you some great gift ideas if you're shopping for a baby or a young child. And I hope that you'll give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel because I'm doing Vlogmas, so that means new videos every day now through Christmas. And I just have so much that I want to share with you. I hope you'll subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to do that. Don't forget the thumbs up either. It